I believe that for whatever reason you divorce, you have to repent. And I have had to repent. And I don't know if that's one of the things that's way in the back of my mind, sort of subconsciously keeping me from taking a step forward because of how I was taught. But at the end of the day, I made a vow. I made a vow for better or for worse. And when you consider you making a vow for better or for worse, who defines what worse is? And since I have been divorced and have dealt with people in various situations of their own lives, I have found that what I decided to divorce about, or what broke us up, was minuscule compared to what other people went through. And if I were to give you an anecdote, one of my problems is, and I really ruined my marriage in the name of God. And if you want a lesson, I give you a lesson. I am very ebullient, very intense about what I do, because I believe you can't be as good as you ought to be, and you can't be the best that you can be if you're not very, very intense about this job. And there's no question in my mind that I am very intense. I was totally out of balance, still am, as it relates to preaching. And I ruined my marriage in the name of God, because she was oftentimes upset. We argued every time I had to leave. And I was the last person who was picked up at the airport when I got back. When I got off the plane in Little Longview, Texas, they were closing the airport by the time she came to get me. I was standing with my bags. And I was completely indignant because I figured she's driving a 500 SEL, and who wants to get off a plane and not have somebody to greet him? But what I failed to understand was that she didn't want me to go, so why should she hurry up to pick me up? And we were arguing all the time when I had to leave. I mean, I was so out of balance. Church on Sunday, Bible class on Monday, gone until Saturday and sometimes even Sunday morning. What I fail to understand as a novice is that there is a very thin line, or a very difficult distinction between the signatures of frustration and anger. Oftentimes, anger is simply frustration. And I said, well, I was a preacher when you met me. So how in the world, if the doors are opening, you will not allow me to go, and we have to have these vicious debates when I'm going to do what God has called me to do? But what I failed to understand was she did not marry a profession. She married a person. And so now my word to anybody who wants to take from this lesson is that each preacher must understand the significance of ministering to his own wife. And a pastor's wife, should never ever feel like she's got to compete with the church or the ministry for her husband's affection and attention.